City Soul, and we're here to do a performance review on the Under Armour Curry 3. The Under Armour Curry 3 is the third signature shoe for two-time reigning MVP Stephen Curry. While the Curry 1 was a lackluster performer but a financial success, the Curry 2 was a financial success and a fantastic performer that had a few annoying but ultimately forgettable flaws. Does the Curry 3 fall in with the former or the latter? We're about to find out. We're going to start as usual with the cushioning. Full length, charged foam. And it's business as usual for charged foam. This particular setup provides fantastic court feel, adequate impact protection, but it's just not the most responsive stuff underfoot. It doesn't provide that bouncy feeling like Zoom Air or Boost would. Now, the nature of the charged foam being so firm provides some benefits as well as causing some problems. I really appreciated the fact that I felt like I was directly on top of the court with these, especially in the forefoot. You didn't feel like you had to push or slog through your own cushioning at all. You were able to change directions on a dime and do it quickly. However, as I mentioned before, it's just not that responsive. It's really firm all the way through from the heel to the toe, and the cushioning just feels a little dead overall, and it's not the most pleasant feeling underfoot. I was able to move in a variety of different directions and jump and do drop steps and things like that and put a lot of force on the shoe without having any pain shooting up through my legs, into my knees or my back or anything like that. The impact protection was solid. Transition was decent and relatively smooth. As you can see, the charged foam runs from the forefoot all the way through the back and then moves up and molds into the heel counter as one piece, almost like Adidas's old sprint frame material. And that did cause a little bit of stiffness when running up and down the court. It was something that broke in a little over time, but it still was never as fluid as I would have liked it to have been. On the upper, on the lateral side, we're looking at a material called thread-borne. On the medial side, Under Armour has brought back the Anafoam from the Curry 1. All that is supplemented by an interior carbon fiber heel counter and an exterior charged foam heel counter. Now, thread-borne is basically a woven synthetic that feels a lot like other similarly priced woven uppers on the market today. There's nothing particularly special about it, but it does its job. On the medial side of the shoe, Under Armour brought back the Anafoam from the Curry 1. The Anafoam on the Curry 1 was actually detrimental to the fit of the shoe. It was just too stiff, and every time you had your laces tied really tight, it would just pull itself back to the shape that it was originally set at, loosening up the collar and the heel fit and everything. It was just not a good look. This time around, Under Armour is still kind of pushing that anatomical fit angle on the Anafoam, and the truth is there's nothing particularly special about it. It's a relatively pliable foam that with heat and pressure will somewhat mold to your foot, but it's still kind of stiff and unnatural feeling, and it's just not the greatest material. Now, with the thread-borne and the Anafoam combined, the shoe was actually able to provide some pretty good forefoot containment. I was able to make moves on a dime and change directions quickly without any sort of side-to-side movement within the shoe. I did, however, experience some front-to-back movement within the shoe, especially on moves like quick stops and step backs and things like that. I just slid forward a lot more than I really would have liked to inside the shoe, and I had the thing tied up relatively tightly. And the reason for that, I think, again, the Anafoam upper makes up about 85% of the collar, and this stuff is just, no matter how much they push the anatomical fit thing on this stuff, it's actually just does almost the exact opposite. And the heel fit in the shoe overall was relatively poor. There's some side-to-side movement and a fair bit of up and down movement inside the shoe. And while the up and down movement decreased as the Anafoam collar broke in a little bit and became more flexible, I never felt like the shoe molded around my heel or fit the way around my heel that I really would have liked it to. Taking a look at the heel counter, there is a carbon fiber piece that wraps around the back, Steph Curry's signature right there. And then you can see the second piece on the exterior that moves up from the charged foam midsole in one piece. Well, I think the setup looks great with the carbon fiber and Stephen Curry's signature there, especially this heel counter that has the embossed SC30 logo, where it's concave there and convex here, and the I can do all things. It just didn't lock my heel down with that one-to-one fit like I was looking for. Comfort-wise, the shoe is solid. It's nothing particularly special, but you could wear these around all day and not have a problem with it. The cushioning's a little firm. There's nothing particularly luxurious feeling about this shoe, but the comfort's okay. On to the traction. Herringbone from heel to toe. And a carbon fiber shank plate for rigidity. It's herringbone, so you know what? You know it works. This is some beastly stuff. I had no problems with this traction. It worked in a variety of different conditions. I played on a dusty court, I played on a pristine court, and they worked no matter what. The traction on this one is really something that Under Armour did right, because they were able to just use some straight up herringbone, but they were also able to tell a story. If you look really closely here on the shoe, if you look at these lines here, and that line there, and that line there, what you're seeing is one of the towers on the Golden Gate Bridge, which I think is a fantastic, really intricate detail that's really subtle, but really cool at the same time. So if you're a small, quick guard who values court feel and great traction over everything else, the Curry 3 should be on the list of shoes that you're looking at. If you're a bigger player or you just really value cushioning and a great lockdown fit throughout the shoe, this is probably not the shoe for you. So value-wise, is the Curry 3 worth it? It's $170 Canadian and it's $140 US, meaning they bumped the price up for a shoe that for the most part feels inferior to its predecessor. It just doesn't have the overall superior fit and more organic feel of the Curry 2, but you have to pay more for it. I mean, if you're a Curry fan, it's still a relatively affordable shoe. And again, if you're a small, quick guard, this shoe could work out pretty well for you. But for the most part, I think there are better performers on the market right now that you can get for a little bit less money. If this review has been helpful to you at all, please comment, like, and hit that subscribe button below. It really helps us out. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Weed City Soul. I'm Richard from Weed City Soul, and until next time, they're just shoes.